Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spanish Sling, a podcast where we try to bridge the gap between the Spanish and Singaporean companies and encourage economic relations between them. Being sustainable is one of Singapore and Spain's main goals for 2030. Today in the Spanish Sling, we wanted to contribute to these efforts and raise awareness on renewable energies. This is why we welcome today Miguel Laburu, Chief Executive Officer at HAWEAS, a company that offers one-stop low-carbon solutions for industrial, commercial and agricultural sectors based on renewable hydrogen. Welcome, Miguel, to the Spanish Sling.
Thank you very much.
In this first part of the interview, based on your experience, I wanted to raise awareness on renewable energies in Singapore. So can you give us a brief overview of the sector in Singapore?
So Singapore is a small country with very limited resources. However, the government in Singapore, since some years ago, they're actually putting on action several programs in order to promote solar energy mostly. There are other technologies that they are looking at, for example, like carbon capture. They're looking to also to storage. But in terms of generation, solar is the one that they are looking at, and they have a target of 3 gigawatts by 2030.
Wow, that's impressive. So I think we can say that Singapore and Spain share some similarities in the goals that they want to attain in terms of sustainability and renewable energies. Are the way they approach these goals similar? Do they align?
Well, it's slightly different. I mean, Singapore is a small country with limited land. So what they're actually pushing for is mostly for rooftops and also to have floating solar in reservoirs. So that is the way that they're doing. It's something that it can be done in Spain, but obviously here in Singapore, they stress that kind of approach. Even though there is a big project of 5 megawatts that is actually, and it will increase more, be in the strait between JB, Johor Bahru and Singapore. Now, Spain is slightly different. Spain focuses mostly in larger scale, big connection points, and they try to maximize or optimize the size in order to reduce the cost. Here in Singapore is more with another object that is mostly to have certain decarbonization targets and also to become, geopolitically speaking, more independent.
I think I guess in Spain we're really strong in wind power and solar power and also maybe in hydropower and maybe bioenergy. I know that in Singapore the main renewable energy and the main power comes from the solar power. Are there any kind of new technologies and new renewable energies that are being more important in Singapore?
So there are some pilot projects, not really commercial, or I don't know what is the commercial stage, but so wind here does not make any sense given the location, the equator. There are no winds, or the winds are very limited. Yeah. There are some pilot projects, and there is some companies in Singapore focus on sea generation, based on currents and on tidal. But again, it's just a pilot as far as I remember, given that even when they have the chance or the opportunity, the problem is that there are too many ships around, so limits the potential. Now, the third one that actually I'm aware of is actually some biomass. What they are taking is some chicken manure. What they are doing is taking into a generator, they burn it, and they generate electricity from that.
Wow. So now let's focus on Spain, the Spanish companies and the technologies that they provide. Why are Spanish companies so strong in this kind of technologies?
So Spain from the very beginning was one of the references in renewable energies in 2005, 2007. For certain reasons, well, we probably were relegated in terms of at today's industry level. But the cool thing is that we were the very first, and we have the technology, we have the experience. Overall, the experience, there are plenty of companies around that they're actually doing not only engineering, installation, some of companies like Ingeteam, Power Electronics, that they have actually a top-notch technology that they're spread all over the world, not only in solar but in wind and hydropower. That is something that is very, very important in the region. So there are many Spanish companies with long history and good technology that actually can implement not only Singapore but also in the region.
So we have the technology, we have the experience. So Miguel, I want you, as a last question, to just raise awareness of our capacity. So any last words for all the Singaporean companies that may be listening, or the Singaporean government, to consider Spanish companies as allies in this kind of achievement of these goals?
I think that one of the probably one of the main limitations in which I believe the commercial office is working on is trying to bring Spanish companies abroad. I think that is probably the weakness that we have. However, once we reach we have an opportunity. We have very good engineers. We have actually very good capacities in terms of financial capacities, given that we have large experience in infrastructure projects. I think that we can add a lot of value, but probably we need to come hand by hand with a local company that actually trusts on our services, and then we probably can provide a good solution together.
Thank you very much, Miguel. So keep in mind all this advice that Miguel has provided, and see you in part 2.